Hello, guys. Happy Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday, June 3rd. Looking up at my calendar here. Welcome to Art Throwdown. Welcome to another edition of our weeknight madness and crafting and arts and all sorts of cool stuff. I am going to have a special guest star on here, so I'm going to let him in now. I'm going to welcome Phil from the San Francisco Bay Area Postcard Club. Hey, I see it.
Hey,
Okay,
how are you?
but you're sideways. You're like,
Am
"Nyeh."
I? Great.
Yes. All right, and everybody's popping
All
in
right,
here.
here I am.
Hi, it's great to finally meet you, dude.
Same,
Awesome.
Allison. Here's Eddie. Let's see. I can. Well, anyway, here he is.
Hi, I love your dog. He's awesome. Very
This is
cool.
Eduardo.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, dude, if those of you out there have pets, we want to see them. We love pets. So.
Okay, and I brought Russ with me, as you saw before.
Oh my gosh. Okay, where did you get all of those photos of Russell?
Uh, I had to just, you know, do that because we need him here, right?
That is
Russ, where are
hilarious.
you? He's not even in here.
Oh my
Eddie,
gosh, that is funny.
Eddie, do you like Russ? Look, he's in the Navy. All right, sorry guys, sorry guys. I know
Dude,
there's
that is
already seven
what a
people in here.
fabulous introduction. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
right.
And
Okay,
Russ has
great.
a question for you, actually. So he can see all of your photos that you have recreated of Russell. And Russell wants to know, what breed is Eddie?
Eddie is a rescue.
Okay,
He is rescued from a place in Culver City here, named Bijans and Buddies.
cool.
So he's a Bijan,
Okay.
and they were running around Paris, kind of like. How did I flip this? They were running around Paris after the war, and actually, carnies would pick them up, and they were the dogs that were really smart and could do all those little tricks.
So Eddie does a lot of your accounting and such for you, I take it.
If he only did, that would help a lot.
Awesome,
But
dude.
yeah,
So I understand that you have some stuff to show us other than obviously those fan photos of Russell.
right. No, I that was just for show. All right, so yeah, I set up something here too. So here's
Cool.
some suffragette postcards from like 1909.
Wow.
So yeah, let's see. Just flip through, and then I'll let Russell take over.
Yeah, no,
But
these are awesome. So what's the story behind these, Phil? Where did you get these cool postcards from?
so I actually purchased them at auction, and they're in a series, and I don't know if you know about antique postcards, but hopefully you will soon learn more. And yeah, so this is basically about like the men becoming the fathers. There's a
Hmm.
whole history here, and somebody else could explain it better than I can. But yeah,
Those
it's
are
another
cool.
project for me to research.
And are they all the same size and dimension?
Oh yeah,
So those from
yeah,
from here, those
four
look
by six. But then
okay.
originally, like we'd have to do the exact measurements. Why does it not look like
Oh no,
four
I
by
wasn't
six?
sure if it was like 3.5 by 5 or 4 by 6
Yeah,
or if they were all like the same size. They look the same size from here, so
yeah. I Yeah, so again, like the dad taking care of the kids, like if women get the right to vote.
right.
Yeah.
Those are cool. Oh yeah, all right. So we got a whole bunch. I'm gonna go back up here. We're getting flooded with questions. Jim wants to know, what is the value of those postcards you got there?
Um, I would say they're about $20 a piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
Russ wants to know, are they all the same maker or publisher, or is it kind of a mixed bag?
it was a collection from a guy that lived up in the San Jose area, and he was
Wow.
auctioning them off. So yeah, they're different publishers,
Very cool.
but
And
it's
Ashley's
more it's
saying,
more about the theme. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And Ashley says that is a fantastic collection. I agree. I have never actually seen suffragette themed postcards like that
Yeah,
before, and you're getting like
here's a
mega
real
hearts from all
photo.
the audience here.
Yeah, real photo print of
Wow.
like actually asking for the right to vote. So there were a lot of protests too.
For sure. Wow.
Yep.
That's very interesting. I'm going to
Here,
go
here,
back up in the feed here real quick.
and then women's colleges. Here's the founder of Mount Holyoke College.
Awesome.
So, I mean, it was advertising, really, is what it is. It's just like I get stuff from Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Russ says, this is it's in particular, it's important to show it this year, given the anniversary of the 19th Amendment being passed. And so, man, it's crazy that these were like, that blows my mind that those postcards were from like 100 years ago. That's awesome and crazy all at once.
So anything to do to get votes. So there were series, as Russ probably knows, but there are different series. So anything you to do, like just give somebody a kiss, or
Mm-hmm.
and then anyway. So I couldn't fit them all in like before because we just had a 5.5 earthquake here. Uh,
Like today?
yeah, just like 10 minutes before we got on. So
Oh my God.
yeah, it
Is
was crazy.
everything cool out there?
Yeah, it was in Ridgecrest, so it wasn't on the San Andreas Fault, so that was good. It's
Well, you've
far
got that
enough
going
away,
for you.
not for us, but for LA.
Wow. Oh my
I mean,
God.
not for Ridgecrest, but for us, we're okay.
But 5.5, that's a pretty significant one, right? That's
Yeah,
wow. I'm glad you guys are okay. You don't see any like cracks in the walls, nothing like
no,
that. Okay.
no,
How
we're
far
hanging
away is that from you guys?
a couple hours drive.
Okay. Okay, so it's not like it happened in the next town over or anything like that.
No,
Okay. Well, Pam says and I agree, we're glad you guys are okay. My
thank you.
goodness. So I'm going to actually, my plan was to continue doing more of these Dunkin' Donuts postcards as we've been doing now the last couple of nights.
And how are you feeling? Are you less tired?
A little bit, yes. I needed some sleep, and my God, I slept like the dead last night. So I think I was just overtired and work and yada yada. So, and Nan wants to know, where was the epicenter of that earthquake?
Ridgecrest
Ridgecrest. I don't know where that
ish.
is. Ish.
Yeah, it's just another fault. So like by the Mojave Desert. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Cool.
I was gonna do all kinds of stuff. Like I was gonna show you my postcard newsletter
Yeah,
stuff.
please. No, I'd love to see that.
So this is a couple. They were an Asian man and a white woman. And after the earthquake in San Francisco, they went around and picked up the ruins that were like old broken statues off of buildings and stuff like that.
Wow.
And she actually took on they set up like an antique store in San Francisco, and she took on that Asian Chinese look. So
Cool.
there's more postcards of her, but anyway, so our postcard club does all kinds of stuff like that, newsletters and stuff. But
And so tell me,
it's
when did you guys form? Like, was it a recent thing, or have you guys been around for a few years?
like the '80s, like when we were really young. So this thing's been
Wow.
around like 30 years,
Okay, right on, right on.
40, no, 30,
I'm like, I don't
40,
know, man. I'm losing track. I'm losing track.
35. How old am I? Um, but then we have some awesome people writing books in the in our postcard club. It's on
Awesome.
postcard.org if anybody wants to check out the website.
It's postcard.org.
Hmm.
Okay, very cool.
And then there's other cool books, history, like these are all paper moons, which is like real photographs. They were actually produced as postcards and sent to people, stuff
Wow.
like that. But anyway, I'd have to go through the book. It's a much longer deal. Postcards are deep. I'm glad you're enjoying them.
Yeah,
You're getting
no,
into them.
I'm digging these postcards, and especially now that I've been seeing, like, before I would go to antique shops like a year ago, and I wouldn't pay attention to, like, there'd be boxes and boxes of the antique ones, and I'd be like, oh, ho hum, and I'd walk by and like, oh, look, there's 80s toys in the corner, so I'd like go do that. But over the last maybe 6 to 8 months, ever since I've seen, I like now I zero in on the boxes. I'm like, oh, what are these? And can I mail these to somebody? And what's in the box? And how much are
Right.
they? And and there's some that are really rare that I see, and I'm like, I've never seen a postcard like this before. So then I'll zero in. But yeah, it's super super cool. And Russ is saying you guys are gonna have a lot of new subscribers, I think, after tonight. So
Why? Because it's only $15 to join. Is that?
I was going to ask. So it's postcard.org. So maybe tell us a little bit, Phil, about what we get the newsletter. What's in the box?
So, so it's weird because when I started this Instagram, I was like editor of the Postcard Club, and my grandma was doing okay. So then I had to like kind of bail on it, but I only took it over because the guy that was doing it, who had been doing it all along, like got to the point where he couldn't do it anymore because
Yeah.
it's kind of an older group.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of like not meeting because of quarantine. There's not a lot of energy going on there, but there's an archive of
Wow.
so much knowledge going on there, and so I'm just kind of keeping it alive.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, that's why I started my Instagram, so to let people know about this postcard club that still exists.
So you pay the $15. Is it a one-time fee or is it annual?
It's annual, but again, we're not doing much right now.
Right, right.
So
But I think these guys, Ashley's indicating here, I think these guys might want the newsletter from this thing. So, are you guys still publishing the newsletter?
we have somebody working on the newsletter.
Cool.
It's not what it used to be, but I'm working on some other stuff. Like I'm thinking about coming up with something like the Museum of Postcards, which would be
Wow.
to archive people's collections, because all of this knowledge is there, and the group that is there, it's harder and harder for them to do it. They're just much older than
Mm-hmm.
they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of a newbie to it, but I was kind of like a younger member that tried to resurrect it. But I'm in LA. I'm not in San Francisco. We used to have
Got
an
it.
LA club, but that went away too. Like postcards are something you really have to be passionate about. So you
Yeah.
find those people. And like you didn't know about like any of these postcard clubs or postcard
And these
stuff.
conventions, and I mean, God, I've stumbled into many rabbit holes since this quarantine started. So it's been definitely an interesting little adventure, and I'm glad I fell into these rabbit holes. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, well, creating is awesome. That's why, like, me watching you and just suddenly catching you guys creating postcards, one of a kind,
It's
like
fun. Yeah,
with
it's
all your love and
definitely fun.
energy.
Yeah.
You sometimes buy a postcard, and then you buy a stamp. You write on the postcard, then you mail the postcard. Then somebody else gets the postcard, then you find it in a store somewhere, or somebody collects it and passes it down. All those things, and the message on it,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, the
just
postcard could
beyond.
live on for decades, centuries even. Like it's a crazy, crazy thought.
Well, here's the question: how much is a postcard worth sent from Auschwitz, from somebody that's letting them know, they're going to be okay, to their
Yeah.
family somewhere else? So I mean, it's just beyond
Yeah, it is
comprehension.
amazing. It's an
Yeah.
amazing thing. Now, Jim's asking you a question. He wants to know, do you do post crossing, or do you know about
I
post crossing?
I do know about post crossing, and I don't do that. I have a lot of stuff that I'm planning to do, so
Cool.
I'm just gonna keep it up.
Nice. Very
But
cool.
but you ebb and flow with postcards, so
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's just like with crafting too. Like this is kind of like these Dunkins for me. Everybody seems to be obsessed with these things. I'm like, it's paper, it's trash. And then everybody went crazy when I went to Dunkin's when I did the Dunkin' one last time. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll make more of those.
right.
But it's all how I guess it's all how the inspiration hits you, and you know, and Russ, I don't know how Russ does this, but like Russ has a different thing every single night. I don't know how he does that.
I don't
Russ
know either.
Russ is like the archive of arts and
Well,
crafts. It's
that's
amazing.
that's why that's why I have Russ here for
No, wait, wait,
I
wait, wait. What,
I
that
might be
first
holding him.
picture there, where did that picture come from? I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, that's on his Instagram. You
Is
can check
it?
it
I
out. That's
missed
what
that photo.
Is Russ looking at this right now? How
Yes,
handsome is that
he is.
guy?
Dr. Russ Romano is the
You
account is logged in. He is here. He's
you know what are those guys called? Romance guy? What are those guys called that do everything? He's one of those
a
guys.
Renaissance man.
Renaissance man.
Yes, yes, he
This is
is.
the antithesis of the Renaissance man, right? Right, Russ? This is the modern day antithesis. And then he's got a cartoon. I mean, we love you. We love
Yeah,
you, dude.
seriously, man. That's awesome.
I mean, I'm showing my love here, and in the Navy. Okay, all right. I'm gonna hop off so you guys can totally chat
Well,
about.
thank you. Phil, thank you so much. And again, for anybody that's watching in the future, it's postcard.org,
Yes.
$15 annual fee, and there's a newsletter eventually that will be sent out. And by the
Yeah.
way, one last thought for you guys. I don't know if you have like a digital archive, scans of your postcard, but that's
It's all there.
it's all there. Okay.
Yeah,
We
it's
gotta
all
we
there.
gotta
But
go. We gotta go
yeah,
there, guys.
if you want to learn about postcards, it's all on that website. And yeah, I'm gonna keep going doing stuff.
Keep on,
doing
man. No, that is a beautiful thing, and that's a long-lasting, cool, potentially historical thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's awesome.
Thanks for letting me host. I don't do stuff like this, so thanks
I
for
didn't
letting me
either
co-host.
until a few months ago. So, hey, thanks for
Is
coming in,
that
man.
what the hell? Like
Right, YOLO, right? Right. So there you go.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Phil.
I'll hop off.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
All righty. So as soon as he figures out how to hop off, Russell is out there somewhere. Yeah, that's so cool. I didn't know. I always joke about the postcard club, but I didn't know that much about it. So that is awesome. And Russ, okay, Russ is now joining. Russ is doing the tango with his different accounts here. Okay, so he's coming back in. Hello.
Hello!
That was super cool.
I was blushing.
Now, what is the story, that photo that was in the front? I don't think I've ever seen that one. Is there a story? Is there a backstory to it?
It was me in my designer coverall shorts.
Designer coverall shorts. Okay.
Yes. So I was working the theater, and every Saturday I do a dress up Saturday night. And so as a way to celebrate the end of the week for me, because it's my last shift. And so I wore those just out of fun, and everyone went totally gaga over them. And I was posing for pictures with people, and the stars of the show each took a picture with me in them, and it was just so funny. And of all the pictures for him to pick out that one, I thought was funny. But
Well, there
I
were
think I
three
have a new
pictures.
romance now. Oh my gosh, Phil's good looking. So I was gonna text. I was gonna say, "Are you single? We need stats. We need deets. You know, we need to know the Phil story. You know." But anyway, so I do
But I
appreciate.
saw three photos there. I saw your coverall, cover girl shot. I saw your animation, like your cartoon shot.
My avatar.
Your avatar. Yeah, thank you. That was the word I was looking for. And you're in the Navy shot. So those were three very flattering and good photos of you. I will say those were good.
Well, like I said, I was blushing a little bit. I was just like, when he first logged on, he was sideways, and I'm like, what am I doing there? Do I? I said, I've never looked so good sideways.
No, and I peeked at it. I was like, what? There's a lot of photos of Russell here. Well, this is interesting. Like, where is
And
this
the
going?
frames, no less. He did a great job framing them as well.
No, Phil, if you
same
came
frames.
back in, dude, thank you for showing us those photos.
No, Phil, you did a great job, and there's a lot of love there, and mad respect for what you're doing and keeping that San Francisco postcard club still available.
And he's not even in that city, like he's doing it from
know.
LA. I mean, that's dedication. That's dedication
Not
to the
just
hobby
LA,
and the craft.
he's doing it from Beverly Hills, mind you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, no. And it's so interesting because I've had this conversation before, and Frank Roche and I have talked about. I don't know. Is Frank here tonight yet? Did you notice?
Seen him. No.
Okay.
I have not seen
Frank and I have always wondered what we could do to promote our postcard collections once we're gone and we don't have anyone that is willing or interested in taking them.
Mm.
And this idea of this international postcard exhibition center where everyone, all these estates, rather than selling them off for paper or more importantly, having them thrown away, have
Yeah.
some center
That gives me
organization that will
angst.
receive them.
That gives me angst. I'm like, you
Yeah,
can't throw them away. They're history. They're
yeah.
historic, you know?
And Phil brought up a great point. The United States had their own version of those uh, Auschwitz survivor concentration camp postcards. In that, during World War I and World War II, it was incumbent upon the commanding officers of each of those units to send postcards to next of kin, letting them know that their children were still alive, i.e., their sons were still alive.
Right.
And so those are big collector's items as well. So
I'll
what is
bet.
that
Yeah.
cost? What is that historical cost and emotional cost of a postcard? So yeah,
Fascinating.
and
So you're
yeah,
saying like this could become history someday? I think that's very interesting. Look, it's got glitter on it, guys. It's got glitter.
but it's not that, because the other thing too is that who know? I know there was an exhibition in Singapore of people sending handmade postcards, and they received millions of handmade postcards.
Really?
And this was the International Postcard Museum in Singapore. And
Hmm.
so, and the main reason was just for that reason, is to see what people are doing, what they're making postcards out of, and they've been archived.
Right.
So theoretically, if you had participated in something like that, you would have an archived postcard in that collection. So never say never, and
Crazy. Yeah.
yeah, and that's the beauty
Crazy.
of postcards and of creating postcards as well, is that they can be made of anything, and it's what you do, and it's the creativity. And for some people, it's the beauty of the postcard, and for others, it's the message. Sometimes it's not
Right.
even about the front of the postcard.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about the message and the stamps that are chosen, the orientation of the stamps, where the stamps are placed, because all those have meaning as well. So yeah, it's just much more than a piece of cardboard.
Absolutely. And Phil's suggestion is to your and Frank's, you know, idea on how to make your collections live on. He's saying archive the collections by scanning them. And I mean, I don't know how big your postcard collections are between the two of you guys, but I imagine they're quite extensive. Safe
Well,
bet.
I now have over, and this is just unused, and this isn't to brag. It's to put things in perspective, because a lot of people have been commenting on my postcard selections and stamp selections and things like that. I have now over 45,000 unused postcards,
Oh my God.
and I'm not going to go
Wow.
through all of those. Yeah,
Wow.
and that's just the unsent ones. That's not even the ones that I've received. So um,
Wow.
yeah, and so I'm going to have to do something with those. Um, so yeah, and then Anna has a great point. She says it's also the experience when you receive them that marks a specific moment in your life. It's priceless.
They're like
I
tiny
absolutely agree.
milestones in your
Yeah.
life. Yeah. Super cool. Well,
So in answer, yes, your postcard can go down in perpetuity.
let's hope it's not the Duncan one. I know y'all love the Duncan one, but I'm like, yeah, but what about the collage? The collage. Anyway,
Speaking of collages, oops, I
yes.
just hit the camera. Um, so this was my finished product from last night.
Wonderful. Wow.
Yeah, and this is just the background, and I'm just like, um, I really like the way this turned out, and what I'm going
Me
to
too.
do, I'm thinking, but I'm a little disappointed that the red and the purple are only half inch, to where the others are an inch. So I'm going to make another one on 6x8, so they can all be an inch in size and have a full line of each color. But what I'm thinking about doing is taking a photo of this and then turning it into a printed postcard.
Now, what service would you use? Moo? Like what?
I'm a big Moo person.
Are
I
you?
love using Moo. I like the quality of their postcards, and I
Mm-hmm.
also like the gloss finish on one side and the matte finish on the back.
I'm a
And
fan of that
plus you
too. Yeah.
can get lines or lines on them, no lines on them. You can have printing on them as long as the
Mm-hmm.
printing is the same on each. For example, if you want to print your web address, or if you want to print your return address, you can get that printed on them as well. Um, but I'm really chuffed with the way this turned out. So
Super cool. Yeah.
yeah,
And by the way, Ashley says the San Francisco Bay Area Postcard Club just got a new member from Arkansas. So, see, Phil, this was a completely unintentional like membership drive. So I think you're going to get some more peeps coming in there. That's really cool.
well, I mean, $15 is almost almost a venti or
It's a
whatever the
couple of
large Starbucks
it's a
coffee
couple of
is.
frappuccinos. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. So
by today's standards, you know.
yeah, so I think definitely going to enroll as well, because just the newsletter alone is worth, just the knowledge base of the newsletter alone,
And just
regardless of
the
how
sheer
often it's sent out.
novelty of getting a newsletter, a paper
Yeah.
newsletter too. Like I haven't gotten a paper newsletter in years, like years. So the newsletter
Well,
alone, I think,
I
is
may have a new reason to move to San Francisco now, so I can run the archives of the postcard club.
there. You go. There you
Yeah,
go. All right.
San Francisco's my kind of town. You know,
I haven't been there in a few years, but it is a very cool place.
I have
Very
never
cool.
been.
Oh, wait, wait, wait. Phil's seeing demand here. There's demand spiking, and the price is quite elastic now. It's now up to $20, everybody.
$20
Got some elasticity in your pricing
still,
there. Still,
still worth it.
It's a couple of lattes.
Yeah.
It's a couple of frappuccinos. I mean, awesome. So, are you making more? So, is that your 6x8? Is that your project for tonight?
That's my project. Going to be the project for tonight. Is the 6x8,
All
because I
right.
want a full 1 inch of each color. Um, but I did want to share a trick with everyone, um, and it's about making lines. Believe it or not. Um, so I use this gridded ruler to make lines with. And the big mistake that people make is that when you line it up, I'm trying to do this on camera so you can see it. Um, so when you make your first line, you just draw your line down. But when it's time to make your second line, the big mistake is people put their ruler right on top of the line. And so what happens is you are miscalculating by the width of whatever line it is that you're making. So if you're using a pencil, if you're using a pen, if you're using a marker, the width of the line is going to off-put your calculations.
Right.
So in order to do that, what you do is you move it just to the left, so the line that you're using is just to the left of the mark you just made. So that compensates for the width of the mark you've made. Because every time you make that and use it directly on top of the line that you made, you're going to misgauge by the width of your mark, and that's going to compound itself across. By the time you get to the last mark, you're going to be that many times off. So what you do is just shift your ruler to the left of the mark. And that's the beauty of these grid rulers, is you can see exactly where your mark is, and you just move the 1 inch mark just to the left of that. So that when you make your line, then your new line is actually on the 1 inch or whatever mark that you want. So
Interesting. And I gotta say,
yeah,
that's a nice ruler you got there. I don't have it down here, but I have like a Dollar Tree ruler, and it is not see-through, and nor does it have grid lines. So
yeah,
it's a
no,
nice
this
one.
is a brand called Westcott. There we
Westcott.
go,
Okay.
Westcott. And they come in a variety of lengths. I have this one, which is just a 12-inch ruler, and they also have an 18-inch ruler, and that's gridded. And there are two of them. One is a printing grid, which only has a 1 inch grid, and the bottom is horizontal lines. But this is the one that I prefer. This is a 2 inch ruler. It is broken down into eighths, both vertically and horizontally. And it's just a great, great ruler. I have a whole bunch of these because I can never find them when I want them at the time that I want to use them. So I bought them in bulk. And then when I teach at Paper Source, I bring them with me so that all of the people can use them. You can find them at most art stores. I know Blick has them. I know Da Vinci has them. Michaels has them. I bought them in bulk many times at Michaels. And there's a similar ruler for quilting. So if you can't find it, go to the quilting section. You may be able to find it there.
That is a good tip. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, folks. Well, let's see. It is, my God, it's 10:30 already.
I know.
Are your neighbors up? Like, what's going on? I don't hear any ruckus.
I don't hear it either. So I've been cooking all day. So I haven't been paying attention to them.
What'd you make, by the way?
I made a big old pot of pinto beans.
Woohoo! Nice.
Yeah, because I have some jalapeno cornbread still left over from when I last batch that I made.
Oh my God! I saw the pictures of that. The little tiny, the mini loaves. Those were so awesome.
Yes.
They're like delicious.
Well, I had to put them in mini loaves because I was eating half a pan.
I mean, how can you not? I mean, it's like banana bread. The whole loaf comes out, and you're like, well, fudge it. I'm just gonna eat the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I made them I bought a new pan and I made them in the mini loaves, and it's really helped. And I'm still, for those people who have asked for the recipe, I am still working on the recipe so that I can get it in a printed form that I can actually send out to people. So that hasn't fallen on deaf ears.
You know what would make a really cool vessel for that recipe?
What's that?
A postcard.
Well, that's normally how I send out my recipes, and we did that recipe postcard, which started all of this.
That's true. Oh yes, that's right. It feels like, for some reason, and I know that was only a few weeks back, it feels like that's going back into ancient history. I mean, I don't know why.
In answering some of the questions, Jim, I do have some of my postcard and stamp buddies in my will, believe it or not. So don't be surprised. But if you're wishing me an early demise, I don't know. But no, I do have some of you in my will, believe it or not, and you will get notices from my attorney should that day ever come. But
and I would leave you guys stuff, but it's mainly just junk from Savers that no one wants. So there's that.
Michaela joined. Welcome.
Hello.
For those of you who may not have seen it today, I did go out and invested in a temporary post office box.
I saw. That is awesome.
Yeah. So, and I was explaining to Ashley, it's, and I did it in a frugal way, and so it's only a 6 month, and I can extend that if I want, but it's less than a half hour of therapy, so I think it's a good investment.
That's a fantastic investment. And then, how close is that? Like, is it within walking distance from your place?
It's a half a block away from where I live.
Oh my gosh! I mean, how can you not? That's
right,
and that's going to simplify things. I think.
For the mental health aspect of not having to go in the city unless I, unless I have a panic attack kind of thing, and because, I'm already anticipating having to go into the city next week for a dental appointment, and so but yeah, I'm working through that. Magar Parek joined. Welcome.
Hello,
Jim. I know you do. I know no one wishes me ill. I was just teasing, but yes, yeah. So I think it was Anna who mentioned my organizational skills, right? Or somebody did the other day.
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah. So I'm gonna geek out, and so just
Let's do it, man. It's
just show
geek
you
out
how
time.
anal retentive I
Let's
am.
do it.
So this is one of my bins,
Ooh.
and this is all just flowers and fruits. By the way, this is just one, and this is a bead bin. And so this is where I keep just this particular theme, and they all have their Scott numbers on little brother tapes, and of course it had to be clear tape so I could see what's underneath it. Yeah, so that's just that's how anal retentive I am. And the ones that I'm using for the yellows, which is what started all this, is there you can see the little yellow rose that I used. But I wanted to use these big ones, but I couldn't find because these are larger than an inch. So I didn't want to use them. But there's this great little, I think it's a daffodil or jonquil or one of those flowers. I need to work on my flowers.
That is
But
an amazing collection, though. It's so
yeah,
everything is so neat and tidy. Now, are
yeah,
those are all canceled stamps?
they are. These are
Okay.
all used. Yeah. But so yeah, that's what.
That is a wonderfully organized collection. I mean, props to you for being that anal retentive and organized. I think that's awesome. I aspire to be that organized in my craft life.
But you have a family, so that's
Well,
you're.
see, that is part of the problem, and I can organize things and make them nice, and then I turn around and I go back to my home office upstairs, and like just there's like construction paper cut up all over the rug. There's beads. God forbid, there's glitter spilled. And I'm like, what did you guys do?
It
So
was so
yeah.
funny because Phil uh, wrote me today and said what was verifying if he was going to actually be co-hosting tonight, and he said he sent you a message as well, but then he said, well, she's probably tied up with the kids, and then he goes, well, maybe the kids have tied her up.
Ah, jeez. For the record, my husband took him to the pool today, and I'm like, get out, get out. No, it's lovely. My brother-in-law's got a pool, so when the weather gets nice and humid and hot here, as it did today, he just takes them swimming for the afternoon. So, and let's face it, all this homeschooling stuff is BS, and I mean, it only takes them like an hour, and they blow through whatever their assignments are. So I'm like, well, you guys have plenty of time to go do whatever now. So.
So someone has asked, this is the brother label machine that I use. I don't know which version is it. It just says Brother P Touch, and it has the
Ooh.
different tapes that you can put in, and they can be clear, they can be colored. So yeah, this is one I use. It has been a lifesaver, I will say. I love this machine, and I use it for the kitchen. I use it, to label mason jars and all different kinds of things. It's probably one of the best investments. It wasn't that big of an investment, but yeah. So this is the one that I use, and I really, really do like it. I use the 12 millimeter tape in it, which is the size of that particular tape. So that is
That's the clear one, right?
right. It is the clear one, and it is a half inch. Is the size. And then the others have asked. This particular box is 8.5 by. Let me see. That's 12. Probably about 8.5 by 14. But they come in all different sizes and different number compartments, so you can buy whatever you need
Nice.
to fit whatever size that you need.
Right, right. So, do you ever
When are you
use?
gonna buy the big doggone Mod Podge?
It's upstairs, and I'm
Okay, fair enough.
trying to use this up. So,
No, I get it. Yeah, I get
there's
it.
only about this much Mod Podge left in this bottle. So I'm like, okay, it's feeling a little ceremonial. Like I have to go through this bottle because this bottle has faithfully been with me for all my postcard collaging since like the beginning, like a couple of weeks before I started doing all these goofy live stream things at night. So, you
But you know what
know,
the other thing you can do is if that's a convenient size for you, you can always fill it back up from the larger bottle.
That's true. I'm like, I have these little hands, and
Yeah.
even
No, I
the
mean,
scissors you bought me were small, like little scissors from my little hands.
yeah, no, it's just not that. It's just that it is very convenient, and the way that you use it, because you use such a small brush,
True.
you know, so yeah, just fill it up.
That I may do that. That I didn't even think about that as an option. I like that. And plus, it helps. It stores well too. So
Exactly. In terms of having, because if you're ever going to travel, I don't think you can get much bigger than that particular size because of the 3 ounce or whatever it is.
gosh, you're suggesting I would take Mod Podge on a plane.
Who doesn't? I
I
mean, you
mean,
don't? You don't? Oh
pre-quarantine
my gosh.
me
I take
never
all of
did.
you should see my travel kit for
Can you
crafting
show it to
whenever
us sometime? Seriously, like what
yeah,
is?
I will.
What I want to
I
know.
will.
What do you travel with? Because before quarantine, if someone told me like, "Oh, girl, don't forget your Mod Podge," I would have been like, "What are you talking about?" But now, things have changed. Let's just say.
Well, I have those little zipper bags, of different sizes.
Are those the ones
So
you can get at like Marshalls?
well, I got these at Blick,
Okay.
and so I have one depending upon what it is that I'm going to be doing. So like this is the one that I use for letter writing. So I put stamps in here, I put return labels in here,
Super cool.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I have them depending upon what it is that I'm going to be, the kind of crafting that I'm going to be doing.
Right. Right.
And so, but yeah, I have all of those kinds of little travel bags um, because I used to make a lot of transcontinental trips,
Mm-hmm.
and so when you're on the plane for 8 hours, or if you're going to Australia, or if you're going to Japan, that's a 13-hour trip,
Lord
and
help you. You need something to do.
yeah, and I'm not a big reader when I am moving.
Me
Oh, the other
either.
thing is I
Yeah.
can't sleep on a moving vehicle.
I can't sleep on planes no matter how long the plane ride is.
Yeah,
Like, I go insane, and no amount of movies, like, I'll watch one movie and burn through it, and then I go insane. So I'm
yeah,
with you. I need something to do with my hands, whether it's like writing postcards or writing a long letter to, someone I've known from like my childhood or something like that. I've got to do
yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm right there with you. I'm exactly in the same place. So Jennifer is asked, do I check my supplies or carry on? I will carry on some things that I need for immediate purposes, but I do check some of my craft supplies, like my X-Acto knives, or my Olfa knives, my snap-off knives, those kind of things. But the things I used to take like journaling kind of things that I can do while I'm traveling. We'll carry those on. The things that include sharps and those kind of things, I check those into my luggage. Um,
Gotcha.
Jim says he can sleep on a plane, no problem.
Oh gosh, I wish I
Yeah,
could. I wish I
same
could.
here.
And then even if it doesn't matter what seat I'm sitting in, like I could be back in coach, I could be in a center seat, I could be aisle, I could be window, like it does not matter. Do not I do
Well,
not
that's why
sleep.
all my friends like to take me on road trips, because I would do all the night driving because I couldn't sleep.
Yep.
The only problem was we ended up going places that we weren't supposed to go because my sense of direction was horrible. So I'd be the one that would take the wrong exit or whatever and had to circle back, or you know. But yeah, but once we got GPS, that all disappeared. You know.
I'm telling you, man, once you get that green station wagon, it's going to be a game changer for you.
Well, that's the thing. I want to be able to change the voice of the GPS. You know, so I want them to be able to talk with accents.
Just get
Like
Waze on your
you
phone.
know,
You could even
get
get
what?
there's an app called Waze, Waze. They even have, there's different voices. And there's even a Cookie Monster voice. So, like, if you want to take a trip in your car and you want Cookie Monster to navigate you, like, you can.
See, that would be the way I would go. My first choice would be a Pakistani accent. Oh no 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 no! You need to turn, 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 turn. You missed it. You missed the turn. You know. But yeah,
Yeah,
not
and
to offend anybody, but I'm just it's just one of the easy accents that I can do.
there are many different accents on Waze. Just saying. So if anybody doesn't use the app out there, like if it can do Cookie Monster and Cookie
Exactly. I would
Monster
totally
can,
do Cookie
you
Monster
know,
or Kermit.
I
You
don't
know,
know if there was a Kermit. There was definitely Cookie Monster. There was a whole bunch of them, and I think they've added more over time. So just saying, for anybody out
what
there
about
that,
the Count Dracula or Count? What's that? What's the Count? Or is it just the Count?
I
The guy
think
that
it's just
counts?
called the Count, because
Yeah. See, that would be
that was his
funny.
shtick. He counted everything,
Yeah,
right?
that would be
It was a
funny.
count.
2 miles. You
2 miles.
exactly.
Or if not, there's your business model. There's a new business
Yeah.
invention for you, Russ.
As if I have time
A
to invent
Sesame
more stuff.
Street talking app. Hey, have you ever done voiceovers?
I haven't. I can only do a couple of them. Accents. I can only do a couple of good accents well. I can also talk like I'm from India. But yeah.
Oh,
But if I
Lordy.
get tired, I can talk like I'm from Texas. Now, how grating would that one be? Oh, dude, you need to turn. You turn. Oh, you just missed the bar. Go back. Go back. Yeah. But anyway,
I nominate Russ for voiceover capture. So someone out there needs to capture your voice.
maybe we can get Phil. He already has the pictures.
Like now, someone out there has got to have some real swanky audio equipment. Obviously, it's not me because I'm literally this phone right now is sitting inside of a pink plastic box with all my craft supplies, and it's balancing on Mod Podge. It's very very classy. So, you know.
Jennifer's asking if I named the GPS lady. I did, but I can't say the name that I used because it's a dirty word. But anyway,
Okay, and
yeah,
this is kind of PG, you know. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't want to cuss, but you know which word it is. It starts with the B and rhymes with which.
all
But
right.
yeah, but yeah, because they never give you the directions in enough time for you to react. Right? Your turn is. Oh, you just missed it. You
Take the
know,
turn.
just
It's like, oh
yeah,
crud, I just passed it.
you need to be in the left lane because your exit is 2 miles away. Your exit is now 1 mile away. Turn, you stupid idiot. Turn. You know, that's the kind of instruction I need. You know, it's just like, you know, because I grew up in Texas. We our directions are like you go to the red barn, and when you see the big oak tree on the left, then you turn. You know, you go 2.5 miles in the northeast direction, and I'm
Oh,
like,
don't even get me started. They're like, you go south for 1.5 miles. I'm like, how
I
do I?
can't see the sun. I don't have a moon roof. I
Like,
don't know where the sun is. I don't know if I'm going north, south, east, or west.
or it'll be like, there was an episode once of Scooby Doo where they're like, yo, yeah, they got lost in the woods. And they're like, what direction? And they're like, I forget it was the side of the tree that the moss grows on. Is it the north side?
I have no
Doesn't
idea. I think
matter.
that's south,
Or
though.
maybe the south. So I think Fred and Daphne and the gang were like, oh no, which way do we go? And they're like, oh, don't worry, I know. The moss always grows on the south side of the tree. And it shows like the Scooby Doo villain picking up the moss and moving it to the opposite side of the
Oh,
tree
see,
to
now
like
that's funny. That's
disorient
like a
them.
Boy Scout cinnamon roll episode.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Like, just give me all your jelly rolls.
Yeah. Jim says Google gives good directions. Is that like the Google's map thing? I don't know.
I think it's the
Oh, see,
Google
Ashley is
Maps
now
app.
correct us. Ashley says the moss grows on the north side of the tree, but that's not reliable.
See, I was right.
Yeah,
See, 1980s Scooby Doo could save my life someday.
I get lost going to the bathroom.
Okay.
So yeah, so I am not the person to talk
I
about
don't think there's an
directions.
app for that, just saying.
Or just leave the lights on like breadcrumbs and just follow the light.
Oh, by the way,
By
I
the
am
way,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look, I can count 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm up to 16 bingo terms for our bingo card.
oh wow.
I was working
And how
on
many
that
do we
earlier.
need? 20?
I think
I think it's
so.
5 per column, and there's no. 5 columns, first
Five,
of all,
five
and I think there's
columns.
5 rows. I think you need 25. I
Yes.
got a whole bunch of bingo cards here. I can actually go look. Can you believe that I'm trying to figure this out?
You should totally go look.
Yeah, it is a 5 by 5,
Okay,
but you only
perfect.
need 24 because of the free space in the center.
Correct. And I mean, maybe the free space could just say art throwdown on it. That would be everybody's free space.
And it was so fun because that free space was so important, especially in these church bingo cards, because that's your reference number to the bingo card. So you would theoretically would thumb through thousands of cards to find 2241 because that's your lucky card. And heaven forbid someone get it before you.
Oh,
Just like having the
see?
lucky bowling ball at the
Yeah. Oh,
where you
yeah.
used to hide your bowling ball and hope that no one would ever find it.
I don't know if I've ever done that, but
Oh, I have. Yeah. Then I just bought my own.
I haven't been bowling in a long time. Actually, you know what? Who am I kidding? I haven't been out and doing many things in a while. And, wah wah.
We have a Broadway bowling league. We bowl every Thursday night after the shows finish.
That is so
Um,
cool. And do you guys
yeah,
do
and
like glow in the dark bowling or is it just like standard bowling?
it's standard bowling, but there's a lot of drinking involved. So, yeah.
Cool.
So, Carrie, are you a dedicated bowler or are you calling us a dedicated bowler? Because I'm definitely a dedicated bowler. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. And it's just a nice way to visit with your friends from other shows and stuff like that. And, it can get very competitive, but
It's more of a social thing.
yeah,
It's
ours
not like
is.
being in a league or something.
Well, when I was younger, I was in a league. So yeah, I was in 4 leagues simultaneously.
Oh, wow.
So I was bowling 4 nights every week, and I did not mind at all. So Carrie, yes, I'm definitely a dedicated bowler. Not a very good dedicated bowler any longer, but yeah, I'm definitely dedicated.
All right, so Duncan, we've got 2 more Duncan postcards here. Look at
Woohoo!
these babies. I just have to go get my other paintbrush so that I can go and spread some glitter glue on these orange letters. Yeah. The only thing I've noticed, the oohoo, actually, I don't know if you guys can see this, there's a little bit of a discoloration. This is actually from oohoo, and I didn't realize it, but for some of these neon colors, it actually causes a little bit of discoloration. This should not be a problem though, because I've got pink paper that I'm going to layer on top of this.
Well,
But
how are you getting glue on the back of your card?
I don't
Are you
know,
not using a glue sheet?
I was using a glue sheet, yes. This is a new glue sheet. Look, it doesn't have all those hacksaw blade dimensions on it that I was writing down
Yeah.
that one time. It's a clean sheet.
Huh.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know.
interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious as how that's discoloring that way. We have a lot of bowlers here. Michelle has joined. Welcome, Michelle. We're almost done, unfortunately, but
Yeah, we
we
got
are here
seven
every night,
minutes.
Monday through Friday at 10. Um, Jennifer says that she was on the bowling team in high school.
Cool.
Carrie says that when she moved to the Midwest, she went bowling and was so confused. She started calling it big ball bowling.
Yes. Okay. So, Carrie used to live in the Boston area, and they have candlepin bowling here, and the
Yes.
ball is like this big, and the pins are very skinny, and supposedly no one in history has ever bowled a perfect candlepin game. It's not a game of skill; it's a game of just lob the ball and hope for the best and see what happens. I swear, there's like no skill involved in candlepin. So candlepin bowling is like really skinny, tall white pins, and They're
Yeah, we
not
used
like
to do
your.
the disco night, and we used to do the glow in the dark,
I
and
love glow bowling. Oh man,
yeah,
that is
and then
my
we also
jam.
did blind bowling, where the only thing that was lit were the pins, so you couldn't see any of
Ooh,
the markings on the lane.
okay, that's got to be challenging.
Yeah, especially for those of us who bowl with marks and all that kind of stuff with arrows and all that stuff. Yeah, but yeah,
I was always the bowler though who like would get a little overzealous, and as soon as I wound up and I would throw the ball forward, I would start to skid over the line. So like I would, I don't know if that's called a foul or whatever. I would foul like every single time, and the shoes were so slippery and the lanes were so slippery, so I would fall like almost every single time I went over the line just because it's very slick. So I was that kind of, I'm that bowler, just so you
yeah.
guys know.
It was well, at least you didn't lose the ball behind you.
No.
That's always my favorite. You know, but yes, that's definitely a foul, and we have 4 minutes remaining.
All right, so I have 4 minutes to go get my other paintbrush. I will be right back.
Um, yes, actually, definitely the players were lit. The pins and the players, yes, because that's definitely a drinking game. But yeah. Um, oh, and Carrie says that you could bowl in that special bowling that, what was it called?
Candlepin?
Uh, Candle pin, is that you could roll the ball 3 times rather than two.
Yes, you get more tries. I don't know the exact rules of it. I've did it a couple of times and I was very quickly frustrated with it. And I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. So the candlepin for me did not last very long. It was very short lived.
Oh, sorry, Jim. I should have let you do the time clock, be the timekeeper tonight. My bad.
And I'm going to show you guys something else. Look, if you take the Dunkin' Donuts postcards, they actually fit together. Ooh, I think kind of. Whoops. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. You can't tell.
But is that the paper one or is that the cardboard one?
This is the paper.
Oh, cool.
These were the bag
The
fronts.
bags?
Yep, these were
Yeah,
the
cool.
bags. So I clipped these off and then I took my little Fiskars portable cutter and I cut these to size 4x6 for each one.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's just paper bag. Paper bag. And so if anybody, I'm up to 16 terms for our bingo. If anybody has any terms that we talk about a lot, maybe subconsciously we don't know it, but we talk about certain things like Beanie Babies. It comes up a lot. I don't know why.
Do you have Fiskars on your list?
No, I do not. But that's another good one. If anybody has certain things that we talk about a lot and you think it should be a bingo item, let me know. DM me and I will add it to this list. And I'm going to try to.
Zoe's asking you to read them so we know
Oh,
which ones you
yes,
already
yes.
have.
I have Tangelo, of course. I have Mod Podge, Pillow Box, Punchboard, Oohoo, Postcards, Philatelist, Collage, Bookbinding, Jelly Roll, Crocodile, Bacone, Duncan, Glitterific, Looking at Stamps, Beanie Babies, and Fiskars now. So we're up to, I think that's 17. So, yeah.
Carrie says postcard would be a good one.
How did I forget
Yeah.
postcard? And hello to Emily Belly Dance. Okay, so Emily I have known since 10 years ago in the DC area where we met. So thanks for joining in tonight. We're actually about to get kicked off. Vintage, yes.
And
Zoe,
coloring as
yes.
well.
Vintage and coloring, yes.
Watercolor.
Yes. All good suggestions. Yeah, we've got 2 minutes left.
Yeah. So, folks, we do know that you have places to be and choices of where you want to be, and we do appreciate you sharing time with us. Glitter glue is another one someone suggests.
Yes, I have glitterific on here.
Yeah.
So, oh,
Stencil.
stencil. That was the one I was going to write down.
Savers. How did you forget Savers? Dollar Tree, or what's the one you use?
By the way, no, let me rewind. There's a Savers near you, Russ. But
Is there?
You have to go out to West Hempstead. Do you know where that is?
I have no idea.
It's out past JFK. Manageable? I don't know.
Well, I can always take an Uber or whatever those car services are.
West Hempstead. I don't know if it's open yet.
Dollar Tree, that's the one. Yes.
Yeah, Dollar Tree probably.
So we're here Monday through Friday, as you know, at 10 o'clock. It is our
Eastern.
time together, and we do enjoy you here, and we enjoy ourselves because you are here. This wouldn't happen if it weren't for you folks to continue to build this friendship and this community